Hey y'all, how you doing? All right, we're gonna make it. I love summer. It's amazing. And I love my children and I'm ready for them to go back to school. We only have a couple more weeks. They're excited. I'm excited. Again, we've had fun. It's just time to have a little bit of structure and to not have children at home while I'm trying to work. I also last week took the week off. Last week, I also took 140 teenage girls up camping with my church group, and it was incredible and everything you hoped it would be. And it was so fun, and I loved every minute of it. But I'm also glad to have that over with so that I can have some of my headspace and time back to work on some other things that I'm really excited about to dive into with my coaching stuff. If you don't have a coach, why? This is your fastest way to love your career, to make the money you want, to get the promotions you want, to know how do you be successful in a work environment and not be afraid that you're going to lose your job and have work just overtake your entire life. The way I work with people, it's probably less than what you're paying for your monthly cell phone bill. It's so affordable. Through my coaching program, you get one-on-one coaching, but every month we also dive into a specific area so that you can help create the career you want, make the money you want, and have the title and seniority that you want. This month, we're focused on how do you have executive presence under pressure. And I'm teaching everyone in there my 5-part framework. We've got some homework assignments to apply what we're teaching. We've got some group coaching calls scheduled. You can get private coaching. It's amazing. If you do not have a coach, I may not be the right coach for you, but I hope you are getting yourself all the help and resources available. There's so much goodness out there to be had. You do not need to be suffering through your career. As I was thinking through possible topics to talk about this week, I've realized I've now published over 250 podcast episodes. That's almost 5 years of publishing a podcast every week. That's a lot of information. So if you're just finding this, or if you've been here for a while, what I want to do today is just do a quick review of the basics. Because sometimes we get so wrapped up in the nitty-gritty and the details and the minutia and the one-off things that I think it's really helpful in every aspect of our lives to just take a minute, take a breath, take a step back, and remember the basics. I've got 250 other episodes that can go and back up and provide all sorts of details, but let's just review at a really high level the framework of overall mental and emotional health, particularly through the lens of having that in a work setting. So the first thing I want you to remember, 80%, almost all of it, okay? 80% of what you feel, it's completely outside of your control. You have no control over it. 80% of the feelings and emotions that you have every day are just happening to you based on your past experiences, based on your belief, based on your personality, based on what you've been eating, how you've been sleeping, how things have been going for you, okay? 80% is just going to happen to you. This is why I always say the goal is not to learn to feel good all the time. The goal is to learn how to feel. You can spend time dissecting your past and trying to understand your trauma and to heal them. I think that's good to a point. But at a certain point, when you understand this is me, this is what I struggle with, this is what I'm good at, this is what triggers me, this is what excites me, we don't need to go and change it. We don't need to get rid of our triggers. We can't go in the past and erase those things that now trigger us. But what we can do is learn how do you set yourself up for success, knowing certain things are going to be hard for you. When you know how to set yourself up for success when things are hard, you don't have to constantly try to live your life controlling what you cannot control. Let's take, for example, Mother's Day. Mother's Day can be a beautiful, wonderful thing, celebrating moms, celebrating their children. It's also a very hard, triggering day for many people for lots of different reasons. Some people haven't had kids and they want to. They've lost kids. Some kids don't have their mom or they don't have a good relationship with their mom. There's a lot of challenges and issues that come up with Mother's Day. If Mother's Day is triggering for you, we're not out there trying to cancel Mother's Day and make it so no one's celebrating it. What we want to do is just acknowledge, I understand why this evokes a lot of emotion for me, and I know how to take care of me while I feel it. In a work setting, maybe if you've been fired or laid off, again, you can't go back and change that. You most likely will be more attuned and have a stronger emotional response to some things that people that haven't experienced that don't have. So you might be quote unquote triggered if your manager cancels your one-on-ones, or you don't get a lot of feedback constantly along the way. Or maybe there's a project that you really wanted and your manager asked someone else to lead. If you don't know how to deal with what you're feeling when those things happen, you will struggle more than is necessary. So let's say, for example, you don't get asked to lead the project. Okay, fine. There could be various hundreds and hundreds of reasons about it. But if you don't know how to feel that worry, that angst, that frustration, that disappointment, that jealousy, most likely what you're worried about will start to happen. Let me explain to you what I mean by that. So if you don't get asked to lead the project and you're worried that your manager thinks you're not good enough, which is why they're not giving it to you, and now you're worried you're going to get fired again, most likely you're going to start feeling freaked out and nervous, and you're going to go ask other people, am I doing okay? Is this okay? Have you heard anything? What do you think's going on? You start to just act a little bit crazy, and it might become an issue. You might not be performing as you should. You might need your manager to validate you and tell you you're doing such a good job so often that you can't progress to the next level because you need your hand held. It's okay that those things are hard for you. Our job is to learn, how do we be okay when we're not okay? So if 80% of what you're feeling is just going to come at you no matter what, you need a huge Costco-sized toolbox full of tools to help you deal and process with those feelings. When emotion is high, intelligence is low. We got to give ourselves permission to feel it all. You got to feel stuck. You got to cry. You got to scream. You got to breathe. Go for a walk. Meditate. Go outside. Find a hobby. Connect with friends. Talk about it. Feel it. There's so many ways to feel and process your emotions. You got to know what works for you and what you like and what you're good at, and keep sharpening those tools and building your toolbox. This is why I say everyone needs a coach. I have one. I know this stuff. I teach it. I help other people. I cannot see it for myself. I need other people to help me sharpen my tools and give me new ones as life continues to happen at me. The way out is through. So at the basic bare minimum, quick interruption. If you're listening to this thinking, I'll figure this out later, that's exactly why you're still stuck. You've been telling yourself after this project or once things calm down for how long now? 6 months, a year, 2? Every week you wait is another week watching less qualified people get promoted and move on while you stay exhausted and undervalued. The brutal truth: nothing changes if nothing changes, and no one is coming to save you. It's your job to make the change. My coaching program gives you the exact tools to break this cycle in weeks, not years. You can even try it out for free. The link is in the description below. Because if you don't take action now, when will you? Next year when you're even more burned out, or when you're in a bad spot and have to find a new job? I hope not. You deserve better. Now back to the podcast. 80% of what we're feeling outside of our control. The bare minimum way to deal with this is to breathe. Focus on your breath and do it on purpose. This is going to help relax your body and feel and process those emotions. So that leaves the remaining 20% of what you feel. Where does it come from? Good news, this is within your control because it comes from the thoughts and meanings you give to things. Now, if you don't have a coach or you don't know how to do this, you maybe are struggling with this, but this 20% you can control. Your brain by design is feeding you and helping you see what's terrible and bad and horrible and not going to go well. You have to learn to manage your brain. You have to choose to think on purpose. If you're constantly watching the news and social media, especially these days, you're probably going to be freaked out and anxious and scared and overwhelmed and worried for various reasons. I always laugh. My parents, every now and again, they have a lot of free time. They consume a lot of news and media and social influence. And they come to me every now and again with some totally random thing. They saw a TV special on and they're worried and scared about it. You know what? I'm not thinking about it. That's not what I'm putting in my brain. I'm very cautious what I allow in my brain. I don't bury my head in the sand and pretend everything's fine. And I'm like, let's just ignore the news so I don't have to deal with it. But I don't sit there and watch it all day and all night and hear the crap in my brain over and over and over again. I got to learn, how do I manage my emotional health and my emotional strength so that I have the capacity to go out there and help and change those things I think need to be changed. Just consuming all the terrible scariness of it doesn't actually help me take action to create the result I want. In a work setting, if you think your boss hates you and you're not managing your brain will, I guarantee you, find proof that that is true. So when I talk to my clients about this, they're like, what? So I'm just supposed to be delusional? And I'm like, yeah, it's delusional either way. If you're not choosing to be delusional on purpose, if you're not managing your brain, if you're not thinking on purpose, the delusion is doom and gloom. Your brain is wired to look for danger. You have to train it to look for safety. So for this 20% of our feelings that are very well within our control, the bare minimum thing you could try, turn off the constant push of negative information and purposely put good things into your brain. Put music, laughter, books, podcasts, spiritual mantras, even just silence. Your brain and your thoughts are the most powerful thing you have. Be very careful what you let in there. So remember, emotional health altogether is not having this amazing, incredible life that's never hard and challenging and frustrating. Emotional health comes from knowing how to feel whatever comes up and being able to choose on purpose how you want to think about it and what you're going to make it mean. And then you show up again the next day and you do it again. So when I think of this in terms of a mental model, of a framework, most of us believe if we do something or have something, then we're going to feel a certain way and it'll be easier to think and believe certain things. But when you learn, you need to, as my girl Missy Elliott would say, put your thing down, flip it, and reverse it. That's what makes all the difference. It's not do, feel, think. It's think, feel, do. Let me give you a couple examples. Let's say you want to get promoted. Okay? In order to get promoted at its highest level, you have to believe that you're ready and believe and know that you deserve this and you're good enough so that you can feel confident enough. So you got to think of all those things that you can do, that you are good enough, that you can figure it out. And it's not this like unachievable perfection, but it's just like, no, I could totally do this. I'm capable of this. I'm ready for this challenge. I'm performing at this next level. Let's go. Let's do this. Because when you think of it that way, you're going to feel confident enough to go and do some big things. You're going to start pushing back in bigger ways. You're going to work on bigger projects. You're going to advocate for yourself in bigger ways. You're going to try bigger, more strategic things. And you're going to let some of that like little peripheral work go by the wayside. You're not going to be obsessed about clearing out your inbox and replying to every instant message. And you're not going to be available to every person anytime they want it. And you're not going to say yes to every project. You're going to go do big things because you're confident in your ability to deliver at the next level. And guess what? When that's what you do, you get promoted. But if you are waiting around to get promoted before you believe in yourself and feel confident, and before you start thinking and believing that you're good enough and people like you, that's the never-ending rat race. And here's the even crazier part. The more you learn to live in that think, feel, do space, the more you're actually able to create the life that you're trying to have by achieving all these things. You're able to create it right now without even needing the end goal to happen. And the end goal is significantly more likely to happen when we live in this think, feel, do space, because we're not desperate for it. We're not crazy. We're not going to crazy extremes that are not sustainable, but we're already living the good life and we're still going after things because we can. So long story short, you got to learn how to feel. You got to do it dozens of times a day. You need to watch what you're putting into your brain, and you want to learn to think on purpose. And you will be able to feel how amazing things are right now and stop waiting to feel better for things to get better or things outside of your control to change. When you feel better, when you have the life you want right now, that is when you're able to be the kind of person you want to be and show up and help change what you believe should be changed and help others along the way. Emotional health is learning how to feel. That's it. All right, y'all. You're amazing. I hope to see you over in my coaching program soon. You got this. We'll talk soon.